Johnson, one of the fastest running backs in NFL history, shattered records throughout his career.
80-yard run.
So fast, he earned the nickname CJ2K.
Chris Johnson is going to have a Titans touchdown.
He retired in 2017 and has been out of the spotlight. But today, he is sharing something deeply personal.
You've chosen to share some personal news today, and it takes a tremendous amount of courage to share it. What would you like for people to know?
First, I want people to know that I'm still me. ALS has changed what my body can do, but it hasn't changed who I am.
In 2025, at the age of 39, Johnson was diagnosed with ALS. The disease progressing so rapidly that he now uses his eyes to trigger a speech-generating device to speak.
Why do you want to share this now?
Because if sharing my story helps even one person get diagnosed sooner, inspires more research, or gives another family hope, then it's worth it.
Johnson says he was in the prime of his life, working out daily and running errands with his 4 children until ALS changed everything.
Let's go back to last year. When did you notice that something was off?
I first noticed weakness in my right hand. At first, it was little things like my grip didn't feel right, and I wasn't as strong as I've always been.
His wife, Brittany, thought it was something much simpler.
Brittany, what did you think it was at the time?
I thought because of football and, his career, that it had to be something with that, maybe a pinched nerve or something along those lines, but never ALS.
And what did doctors tell you initially about your condition?
We hoped it was something else, but after thorough testing, they finally came down with a diagnosis of ALS. They told us about a medication that might extend life by a few months. Then they told us to get our affairs in order. It was hard hearing that, but after watching Good Morning America and seeing Dr. Merritt with Eric Dane, we reached out to her. She was willing to think more creatively, offering experimental treatments that might help and advance research.
Dr. Merritt Sikovich is a neurologist and leading ALS researcher at Mass General Brigham Neuroscience Institute.
Chris has been on standard of care, which is about 3 different medications that slow down the illness, but he was also part of a clinical trial, a therapy that decreases inflammation, and I think that helped him a lot.
With no family history of ALS, doctors believe his is a case of sporadic ALS, the most common form of the disease, affecting about 90% of patients, occurring randomly in people with no known family history of ALS.
That's one of the reasons this disease can be so shocking. It can happen to someone who never expected it.
And for me, it's shocking. It's hard to process it for me because I know you, Chris, from just the incredible athlete that you are. How do you process it?
Honestly, I don't know if you ever fully process it. At first, you're in shock. Then you realize you have 2 choices. You can give up or you can fight. I chose to fight.
And Brittany, what was it like for you when you found out that Chris had ALS?
All I could think about was our kids and how young they are. Just, you're in denial. You want it to be anything else. You want the doctors to be wrong. The life that we previously had is like now a thing of the past, but we're still hopeful. We're hopeful, that a breakthrough will happen and that, God, a miracle will happen,
And what kind of support has helped you the most through this?
Without a doubt, my wife, Brittany, she hasn't left my side through any of this. My kids are also a huge part of why I keep going. Every day I wake up wanting more time with them to make more memories and just be their dad. They give me a reason to keep fighting.
Love it.
I know, Brittany, the unsung heroes are the caregivers. So what has this been like for you?
Oh, it's tough. It's tough. Like, we have good days, we have bad days, Our life has shifted so much and it's a heavy workload, but I have no doubt that this is what, I was called to do.
So how has it progressed since you've been diagnosed?
It's continued to progress much faster than I ever imagined. I want people to understand just how quickly ALS can attack your body. Just over a year ago, I was picking up my 7-year-old daughter, so she make a wish with her birthday cake. Today, I couldn't do that.
And what do you hope people, or you wish people understood about living with ALS?
That your mind stays sharp. People sometimes look at the physical disability and assume you're not still the same person inside. I still think the same. I still dream. I still love my family. My body just doesn't cooperate.
What are the doctors telling you about the treatment and progression?
Having doctors who are willing to collaborate and explore every reasonable option has meant a lot to my family and me. Right now, there isn't a cure, but we're seeing more research, more clinical trials, and more promising ideas than ever before. Seeing how hard these doctors and researchers are working gives me hope. As long as they're fighting for people with ALS, I'm going to keep fighting too.
Oh yeah, and I want to thank Chris and Brittany for inviting me to the home with the family for that interview. And soon after Chris was diagnosed, they recorded his voice, which is why the speech-generating machine sounds exactly like Chris.
What's up, sports world? Man, world-class Wednesdays on your ones and twos right here. I'm Andre the Torch Robinson, the fire starter, of course. And of course, I have right next to me, I have Mr. Friday Night Lights himself, Mr. Coffee Talk in the morning, Mr. Texas. I'm gonna call him Mr. Texas himself. Marcus the Alphabet is on the ones and twos with us. I know we started off the show with the video that can be a little somber, but nevertheless, we want as many people as possible to, understand and know what ALS is and what and how it affects people. For those who do not know about ALS, we will talk about it in the beginning of the show. And obviously, Marcus the Alphabets, you have some information and understanding of what's going on. I was shocked when I saw it. I'm gonna be honest with you. I was very touched and shocked because I didn't know that this had even happened to him. I didn't know that he was dealing with this for so long. We know him as Chris Johnson, Mr. CK,
CJ2K.
We know
CJ2K.
J2K. That's what we know him as. We know him for breaking records and being the amazing running back that he was for the Tennessee Titans. But Marcus, your thoughts on this as we start off the show.
First off, I hope everybody's doing well. First day of July for everybody who celebrates 4th of July weekend this weekend, celebrating the real birth of this country. It's not June from a couple of weeks ago. Our country's birthday is July the 4th, but that's neither here nor there. 1776. 1776, 250 years. The 250-year anniversary that was celebrated by somebody a couple of weeks ago, that is not the birth of this country. The birth of this country is the 4th of July. That's his birthday. But anyways,
who did that? Whoa. Who did that?
That 250th birthday that they had in DC a couple of weeks ago with the UFC stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. So the 4th of July is the birth of this country. But anyways, I hope everybody's having a good one, getting your fireworks and stuff like that. Please be cognizant of the people out there with PTSD who don't like a bunch of explosions and celebrate, but do it in moderation, please. There's people out there, veterans and animals and stuff like that. Have fun. But anyways, I was just as surprised as you, Torch. This really hit me. Chris Johnson's one of my favorite backs to watch. I remember him coming out of East Carolina. I think it was 08, 09. At the time when he came out, he was the fastest person to ever come out of the combine. Okay, I think he ran a 4.24, something like that. I mean, just a incredible. I think since then John Ross and Xavier Worthy's broken it, but an explosive athlete, a home run threat every time he got the ball. Just an explosive athlete. His vision, his speed, his balance. I wish we had some highlights of him, but just for the younger generation here who didn't see this guy play, he was a treat to watch. In my opinion, one of the best backs of his generation. You see the Adrian Petersons or whatnot, but this guy, he was right up there. One of only 8 or 9 running backs in the 106 or 7 year history of the NFL to run for 2,000 yards. That's how he got the name CJ2K. A very elite group of guys. And to see this, we start to understand our mortality. This is a short trip here. And these athletes, to see them, they're human beings. And, sometimes I think we forget, especially during, with online gambling and things like that, and fantasy football or whatnot, that these guys are husbands, they're fathers, they're sons. We just look at them, they have lives, and it just really, when I saw this, it just broke my heart. I mean, this guy could just take it every time he touched the ball. We talk about a home run hitter, the analogy that we use for a guy who just anytime he touched the ball, he could hit his head on the goalpost and take it 60, 70, 80, 90 yards to the house. And part of that legacy of Houston Oiler, Tennessee Titan running backs, the Derrick Henrys, the Eddie Georges, they've had some pretty good ones, the Earl Campbells. He's right up there with these guys, and when I saw this, it just broke my heart, man. I know some people who deal with this disease, and it like he said in the piece, it sneaks up on you. You see this guy running, and to see him now, he can't even talk. He needs a computer to assist him talking. So we here at Rise Up Family, Alphabets Football Show, and World Class Wednesday, we just look. Generally, the life expectancy with that's about 3 years once they figure it out. So I don't know what's going to happen, but I just hope that we just our prayers are sent up for him. Oh, that's my that run right there to get stopped in his tracks, regain form, keep his balance, and then outrun the defense. Just incredible. So our thoughts and prayers are with him. He's still here with us, but this is another reminder, Torch. I think this is another reminder. Appreciate people while they're here. This in the grand scheme of things. So that's just what it is. You there?
Absolutely, 110%, man. I have no argument on what you're saying. That degenerative neuro disease is, man, it's crazy because you don't have to have no diagnosis for Luke. It's known as Lou Gehrig's disease, by the way. For those who don't know, the ALS is also known as Lou Gehrig's disease. Man, and it sneaks up on people. Like, that's the scary part. Like, you don't have to have it's no reason. It's not a genetic thing. It's not a contractable thing. It's neurological. And it has nothing to do with football, by the way. Zero. To do with impact of hits, yada, yada, yada. The whole 9 yards. It has nothing to do with that. So, with that being said, we definitely, like Marcus said, we definitely, prayers, thoughts go out to his family, of course, because I would never wish that on anybody. I wouldn't want nobody to have to deal with nothing like that. And yeah, man, appreciate people while they're here.
Definitely.
Speaking of appreciating people while they're here, in the sports world, speaking of which, if you just tuned in, by the way, you watching World Class Wednesdays. I'm Andre the George Robinson, the fire starter, obviously with Marcus the Alphabets here. You missed the Chris Johnson segment that we just had. We talked about ALS, Chris Johnson, how we felt about it. If you missed it, you can go back later and watch it. Make sure you do that. Go back and watch it later. We talking about appreciate people while they're here. This one is a little controversial, but we're going to talk about this anyway. And it was brought to my attention a couple of days ago. I knew about it, but then it was brought to my attention yesterday. And if you watched yesterday's show, like Marcus did, where I was on the Talk Your Ish show, I pretty much kind of sounded off a little bit, but I might sound off a little bit more today. But Marcus, before I sound off on this and go ape shit crazy, Marcus, your thoughts on this situation? The juice is not loose anymore. The juice has been put away.
Well, it's funny because a few weeks back on Coffee Talk, we actually talked about this. I actually did a piece on this, talked about it on the show a little bit. It was up in the air, and I asked my viewers what was their take on that. Look, I get it. And I don't want to sound, look, I don't like indecisive people. I don't like people that try to straddle the fence and try to play both sides. But I do understand to an extent both sides of the equation. Now, that being said, recently in the past couple of years, we had a guy like Pete Rose pass away. Now, it wasn't to the extent that this was a murder case, but we have to also understand, Torch, the thing that gets me is the people that, well, it's the law. It's the law. And, he was acquitted. They make excuses. I'm not going to make any excuses, and I'm not going to mention any names, but, well, he was acquitted, or, he was found not guilty, or whatever. We have to also understand, whatever your feelings may be on this, is that OJ was found not guilty for murder. Now, later on, he spent some time in prison he pulled a Terrion Arnold, where he did a stick up type situation where he had for over some sports memorabilia. But for the murder case that people are so, the whole Johnny Cochran and whatnot, he was found innocent of that. And it tore at the nation. I don't know if people remember that. I don't know, some of our viewers are not that old to remember that trial. It's probably one of the trials of the century, next to maybe the Menendez brothers, but or the Rodney King trial. But he was found innocent. Now, whatever side of the fence you are on about that, we judge people off of their on the field, on the court accolades. Okay. Now, he's in the Hall of Fame. He's in the National Football League Hall of Fame. He is in the College Football Hall of Fame. Okay. And the Buffalo Bills, he was in your Ring of Honor at the old stadium. Now, I believe they opened a new stadium recently, and they made this determination. And I just think you start opening Pandora's box, and you get yourself into a slippery slope when you say, okay, I don't like somebody's on the field behavior, because if we start going down that route, and look, I understand this is murder or whatnot, but once you start going down that route where we start taking what they did off the field into the equation of what they, whether they should be eligible for the Hall of Fame or Ring of Honor or whatever you may be, a lot of these guys are not Boy Scouts. I'm sorry. Now, I know some people, shout out to my guy, Marcus Herring. He always says, playing professional sports is a privilege. It's not something that you're entitled to. But I look at it as, what did you do on the field? What did you do on a basketball court? What did you do on a baseball diamond? What did you do on a football field? What did you do on the ice? So I'm torn with it. I don't know if you saw the interview with Rob Parker. If you get a chance to watch that, Rob Parker, I don't know what show he's on. He used to be on First Take or whatnot sometimes. He was very, very animated and very upset about that whole situation. He called the city of Buffalo a bunch of cowards. I don't know if I could go that far. I don't like when people start attacking cities. He's like, that's why they've never won anything. They're a bunch of losers. Basically, that's what, I don't know if you saw that. Pull it up and you can check it out. We can look at that if you want. I wouldn't go that far to say something like that, because now you're disparaging a whole city. Torch, I know how you feel about that with your guy, your best friend Cameron. What he says, I know how to get about that, but but Rob Parker had a lot to say. If you get a chance, watch that piece. We can look at that now or whatnot. But look, this is one of those things. It's going to be. Look, I don't have a dog in the fight. I'm not from Buffalo. Strictly as a running back, OJ is in my top 5 as far as running backs all time. And, once you start taking people's off the field issues or whatnot into that situation, we saw people getting, their Heisman Trophy. A guy like Reggie Bush taking his Heisman Trophy away. We saw Pete Rose, taken out of the denied going into the Baseball Hall of Fame, and some of these guys during the steroid age of baseball, the Mark McGuires, the Sammy Sosas, the Roger Clemenses, the Andy Pettitts. We saw those guys that are still the Barry Bonds that aren't in. So once you start doing that, it's a slippery slope. I wish they would reconsider it, but if they don't, I understand that too. It's just, look, I don't know how you can tell, to me, a Hall of Fame or the Ring of Honor torch is when we're talking about this player, can you tell the story of the NFL without O.J. Simpson? A Hall of Famer. Could you tell a story of the NFL without O.J. Simpson? Could you tell the story of the Buffalo Bills without O.J. Simpson? To me, we talked about this a few weeks when it was up for debate towards, before the stadium opened. Me and you, we did a show together, I remember. And we were like ranking OJ as far as, where do we rank OJ at as far as the greatest Bills of all time? To me, there's two names. And after that, I don't have anybody even close to that. Bruce Smith, the all-time sacks leader, and OJ. Okay? Those two names. Look, Josh Allen's, his story is still being written. Jim Kelly didn't ever win a Super Bowl, great, 4 straight Super Bowls. But OJ and Bruce Smith, how do you tell the story of the Buffalo Bills without O.J. Simpson? So you would be more privy to this. I know you and Devon would be more privy to this, and a few other people. I know this is a very sensitive subject in the city of Buffalo, and I want to know your take on this, Torch.
Most right off the jump, I found the Rob Parker video that you were looking for.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna play that video first.
Okay.
Before I jump in and feet first, because you mentioned it, and I like to allow the people to.
Had you seen it? Had you seen it?
Yeah, I seen it already. I did. Okay. I saw it already.
Okay.
And he went 8 right away. It's actually one of the respectable times I could say Rob Parker has said something that I actually respect.
Well, Rob G, I heard news about the Buffalo Bills and their new stadium.
Oh yeah,
and it did not sit right with me.
Yeah, it was a story we were gonna wait on because a lot of NBA action, but you guys were both so adamant about doing that, like we got to shoehorn it in. The Buffalo Bills are getting a new stadium. We all know that, right? Highmark Stadium, a state-of-the-art venue. Everyone's very excited about it.
Let me pause right there real quick because it's funny. Synonymously, he said there's a lot of NBA stuff going on. This just in, by the way, breaking news just 5 seconds ago. The Boston Celtics have traded.
Don't say Jaylen Brown. Don't say
Jaylen Brown to the Philadelphia 76ers for Paul George, 2 first-rounders, and 2 second-rounders. Breaking news right now, as we speak. It's funny, it's so synonymous, that the Boston Celtics have traded Jaylen Brown to the 76ers from the Boston Celtics for Paul George, 2 first-rounders, and 2 second-round picks.
Stupid.
All right. So breaking news right now, immediately.
Stupid. Just stupid.
One person or one group of people who will not be excited about it is the estate of one O.J. Simpson, because even though he was honored at their previous venue, they will not be honoring him at the new Highmark Stadium. Their president, Pete Gilly, said in a statement, quote, "We have made an organizational decision that he is not a fit to display inside our new stadium and family circle."
This, if you ever wanted to know why the Buffalo Bills are losers and have never been able to win a championship and have all kinds of other things going on, this is a prime example. This is the worst of the worst, the most cowardice move I've ever seen. They didn't do this when O.J. Simpson was alive, and I don't care what you talk about all the other stuff, because I'm not sitting here trying to make it like O.J. was the perfect person or did everything right. But if you're the Buffalo Bills, I have a question for you. O.J. Simpson is still in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. O.J. Simpson is still in the College Football Hall of Fame. And he was still honored at your old stadium. Why would you do this now that he's deceased and that he's gone? It's a coward move. You should have done it when he was still alive if you had any balls to do it. And say, no, OJ, we don't care what the jury said. We don't care about anything. We don't care about the legal system and how it works in this country. And we've determined that you're guilty and we want nothing to do with you. Did they do that, Kelvin?
No.
When he was alive?
No.
And now they're going to build this new stadium. And how the hell could the Buffalo Bills have any kind of honor or ring or salute any players in that freaking organization and not include O.J. Simpson? He was the Buffalo Bills. Disgraceful. I don't know if the general manager had a press conference or that was just a statement, but they should have pressed that guy. Why now? Because he's dead and he can't fight back or say anything? And the other players are going to go, oh, he's dead. I guess, I don't know. They're just going to accept it. Hey, you Buffalo Bills players, don't accept this. Don't allow them to be cowards in the middle of the night after someone dies. Guess what? If you live in Cincinnati, you drive on Pete Rose Way. You sure do. They didn't take that away. Come on, man. What are you doing here? There's no way the Buffalo Bills can honor any players on that organization, especially since they haven't won any championship. There's nobody else that ranks. Oh, yeah, so-and-so, Jim Kelly won 3 Super Bowls. No, he did not. No one's ever won anything. O.J. Simpson is synonymous with the Buffalo Bills. He was the only thing they had, one of the greatest all-time players. You're telling me the Bills are more important than the Pro Football Hall of Fame and the College Football Hall of Fame that still has O.J. Simpson enshrined? And they're going to be the ones to disrespect one of their own? It's terrible. Shame on you, Buffalo Bills. I hope you never win a Super Bowl. You losers.
I was lying on the ground.
Marcus the Alphabets. Marcus the Alphabets. Or you know. All right, I'll let you go ahead. I know. I told you went 8. I know. I seen this already. I saw it. All right. So Marcus the Alphabets. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead and get it all out. Get it all out. You good?
I get called a hater though. I get called. And me and you, we talked offline.
Yeah,
about
millions times.
But
okay, so listen, Marcus, forget all that. Don't even make that about you being a hater and yada yada yada. We ain't making this about a hater. We ain't making this about none of that. Marcus the Alphabets. What have I told you for the last 3 seasons about the Buffalo Bills? And what eye do I have for the Buffalo Bills? What eye have I had? Just because I cover the Buffalo Bills and I like to see them do well, and I told you this in past, I am not a Bills fan. And guess what? In the last 3 years, they've made me dislike them even more. And I told you this. I've said this publicly and privately. I have a side eye for the Bills. And this is one of the reasons right here. Let me tell y'all, because you say I'm more privy, you're absolutely right. I'm damn sure more privy. And if there's anybody who can say anything about the Bills professionally from a professional level, it's me, Pat, Mookie. 1, 2, and 3 professionally, okay? Because we've all covered the Bills professionally. Now, with that being said, clearly, this is another racially motivated move. And I don't want to hear, oh, race don't got nothing to do with it. Yes, it does. Absolutely. I continuously keep telling you about this city of Buffalo. I continuously keep telling you. Marcus the Alphabets, this might be one of the absolute worst off seasons, maybe one of the absolute worst off seasons in all of sports history for an organization. And I know you probably like, huh? Really? There's no, literally one of the worst off seasons in all of sports professional history. Marcus, we watched a general manager and owner throw players under the bus.
And coaches.
Remember that?
And
We
coaches.
watched general managers,
And coaches.
owners throw coaches under the bus publicly. We watched general managers and owners make a fool out of themselves publicly in the public eye. Then turned around and did this. Rob Parker is absolutely right when he said that they were cowardice on this. They didn't have the balls to do this while OJ was alive and waited until he died to pull his name off of a stadium. By the way, Marcus, that does not represent the Buffalo community. I have said this multiple times. First and foremost, remember we had the conversation about New York and New Jersey? Remember that? And remember I told you when in certain places you should just call them what it is? Well, folks, hey, 716 community, you definitely should call them the Orchard Park Bills now. You definitely should call them the Orchard Park Bills now. Because you want to know why? You want to know why they pulling OJ's name off? I tell you. Because the stadium not in the city. This new stadium wasn't built in the city. See, if this stadium would have been built in the city, you think the city folks is okay and going for that? You think that the folks in the city would go for O.J. Simpson's name being pulled off of the stadium? You think they're going for that? You got to remember it's the people who pay for these tickets. By the way, Marcus, you know what's so funny?
What's that?
They've made the tickets unaffordable to the general public in the city of Buffalo. Go right now, and I dare you, go ask anybody. When you're done with the show or whatever the case may be, whenever you want, go ask the normal Buffalo resident, can they afford tickets to go to these Bills games? Go ask them. Ask them. I guarantee you, I'll put my check up. I'll put a check on it. They'll tell you no. Emphatically. When you got tickets that's $12,000 for 100 level seats, okay? By the way, the stadium looks like a residual toilet bowl, but we won't go there. Yeah. This is motivated. This is systemically motivated. This is racially motivated. Because there's no way in hell you're telling me that if this stadium was built in the city, you getting away with that. No. See, the access, Marcus, to that stadium now is slim to zero for people who look like. So, of course, we can get away with now pulling off names that we don't want. And let's pull off OJ's name. Because even though in the court of public opinion, he's guilty to them. In the court of public opinion, when it comes to that organization, he's guilty. But when we talk about law, he was found not guilty. In fact, he was not guilty and they tampered with evidence. Do you not remember this?
And that cop just passed away too. Mark Furman. That was his name.
Yes.
Mark
And
Furman.
as somebody who investigates on a smaller scale, I don't give a damn what scale. If you investigate, you investigate. On a smaller scale, anytime you have to tamper with something, there's a reason why you're tampering. There's a reason. And it usually isn't in the integrity nature of the integrity nature. So yes, this move is god awful. And if I'm anybody with a brain, they knew what they were doing with this, because the people that they want to service to can give less than a damn about O.J. Simpson or a black man in general. And that's why Rob Parker went off the way he did and said that the Bills will always be losers. And you know what's funny, Marcus? I think I kind of touched on this before with you, and why the Bills will not. Remember the question you asked me? See, you like to start something once or twice a show, whether it's deliberately or inadvertently. You like to start stuff every time. It's once a show. You like to do this. You asked me about who would be the big brother, whether it be the Sabres or the Bills. You asked me, would Josh Allen ever win a championship here? Remember those questions? I remember them clearly. What was my answer to you on that? I told you no, emphatically, right? Mm-hmm. And I still stand on that very thing. Because guess what? Until you do right, and I felt like this is one of those, until you do right by the community, they ain't winning a damn thing. Not on top of the fact that you built stadiums on Indian burial grounds.
That's some straight up poltergeist stuff there.
See, there's people who believe in certain powers and certain karmas. And this is another bad karma situation. That's why Rob Parker said, yeah, I ain't gonna never win nothing, and I hope you don't never win nothing, because this is a bad karma situation. It's a cowardice situation. Again, terrible, god-awful, god-awful. Absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely absurd. The city of Buffalo is known for being racist, by the way. Known for being racist. And Jay Andre, what's good, bro? I see you, but you can disagree, but we can argue toe for toe on whatever you disagree on. I don't even know what you disagreed about, but this is why the Bills will never be an elite franchise. They make dumb moves like this. Let's not forget being in Pagula at the. Yeah, I already said this. I don't know what you disagree with. You can put it in the comments section, but we can debate this toe to toe. That's why I called the 17-year drought the Flutie curse. Yeah, again, we can debate this. The Bills will not, and I'm telling you now, the Bills, until they do right by the community, I don't see the Bills winning nothing. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't give a damn who you get at this point. That's just me. Because they did this. This was totally done in bad taste, poor taste. God awful. You can't be serious enough to think that this is okay. Like you said, you can't even tell the full history of the Buffalo Bills without talking about O.J. Simpson. And that's the problem with folks. Folks be too emotionally invested. Let me put this out there. Clip and quote what I'm going to say next, okay? Because this is real. And this is with a lot of topics now in sports. A lot of folks be too emotionally invested in things that they have no bearing on. Zero. You have zero bearing on at all. And hella emotionally invested. How? I just wonder sometimes. Like, it bedazzles me. Like, you have no bearing and you're this emotionally invested. Why? The energy that you could be putting into something else. Crazy work to me, by the way. By the way, Gerald, you're absolutely right. I was going to bring that up later on in the show, that the Buffalo Sabres are looking to sign Patrick Kane, who used to be a South Buffalo native that played for the championship Chicago Blackhawks looking to sign one of the best American players that have played this game in the modern era in Patrick Kane. They are looking to do so. And it's because of the moves that they've made with Alex Tuck and others that they've cut off the team as of late. So very interesting to see what they'll do coming up. It'll be very interesting to see what happens coming up with the Sabres as well. Now, just to read this, I agree that it's a racially motivated situation. I disagree with the part that if it was built in the city, that they would have kept him. I think this regime is so bald, they would have took him down anyway. Oh, okay. Now I can understand if you believe that. I can understand if you believe that this regime is so buffoonish and so stupid that if it was built in the city that they would have tried to do it anyway. I can understand that. That's not something I'm gonna argue. But I will say if it was built in the city, and the reason why I say this is because if it was built in the city, the access to that stadium, who has access to it? Even more. Because most live where? In the city. And you think folks want to pay money to go see a team that literally strips the most famous of players off of the wall that are? Some folks got integrity. Everybody not a simp. Everybody ain't a simp. And everybody ain't standing for buffoonery either. I tell you that. That's why I said that. But I can understand what you're saying totally. I mean, I get it from that perspective that they might be that bold and stupid and dumb to actually do that if it was in a city where it should be any damn way. But that's another conversation for another time. As far as O.J. Simpson is concerned, this is absolutely buffoonish. And I will tell you this, Marcus, I won't support him. I won't. I totally will not support them. You will not see me. I will never buy another ticket to a Bills game. And you heard what I said. And there's no emotion invested in that at all. When I say that out of sheer integrity. I will not. Absolutely not. Because I know the background and byproducts of that move. I know, and I just explained some of them to you right here on the show. Buffalo know they racist. They know they racist. I've been saying this for the longest. It's not a surprise. It's not. This is just stupidity. Buffalo's making a damn fool out of themselves. And now they feel, and I'm going to be honest, they feel even more entitled to make a fool out of themselves because of who is running the country. And
we got our stadium now. We're good now. We done sold the season tickets. We done sold the luxury boxes, all of that good stuff. We didn't got our 6 or 7 primetime games. We're good.
Mm-hmm. And sold them to the and sold them and serviced the clientele that they wanted to service. Make sure you add that. The clientele they wanted to service. The clientele they want at those games.
Yeah. I wonder in the grand scheme of things, whose idea with this? You know, who was it? Harry Truman. He used to, one of his President Harry Truman, he used to say, the buck stops here. Okay. I'm the president of the United States. The buck stops here. I wonder in the end, you know, they say, you know, this was a collective decision, right? In that quote that you read. But Pegula, I wonder with Pegula. See, a lot of these billionaires, you know, they like to throw rocks and then hide their hands. You're a billionaire. Go out there and say it. Stand on it. You know what? All of these people were saying it, and I agreed. In the end, Terry Pegula, you own the team. You own the team. So for me, you know, to say, we came to this and we talked to all of these people here. If you say it, look, what are they going to do? Again, you've already sold the season tickets. They're sold. You've got your games on TV, your 6 or 7 primetime games. You got a game on Thanksgiving this year, I think. It's a wrap. It's not like you're gonna lose. It's not like you're gonna lose money. And it's so people will be outraged, but in the end, they're gonna still come. Look. I'm a Cowboys fan. I'm a Cowboys fan. People, we're gonna.
That clientele will still come. Absolutely. I just
what are you gonna do? You're gonna give up your. You're gonna give up your seat. You're gonna give up your season tickets. You're gonna give them up.
No.
You know.
No, because those fools paid too much for them. Those fools was able to afford them.
And you probably
There
could
is
flip
a lot
them.
of hold on, Marcus. There's a lot of people who had season tickets who do not no longer have season tickets because of the pricing. By the way, Dwayne Woodley, you asked me, was Buffalo a predominantly black city? It is not. Buffalo is 42% white, 33% black, and then the rest is Hispanic and other cultures. It is not. So that answers your question.
It's just
so that answers your question.
I would like to have heard from Terry Pagula, because again, when you're the owner,
no you don't, 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 no, 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 and no, Marcus, we already watched him make a fool out of himself once. You want to watch him make a fool out of himself again? You want to see that again? You want to continue? Listen, if they put Terry, what, Marcus, you might, you know what? You might conjure up something that just might happen. I would not be surprised if Terry Pagula in the next 7 days comes out with some type of reference to that decision and comes out on camera in front of a microphone. And I'm telling you now, if that buffoon says anything that is god-awful stupid like he did prior, it will be an add-on to what I already told you is one of the worst off seasons for an organization as it pertains to organizational in sports history. You want to keep going down that path? We can keep going down this path. Absolutely buffoonish. They already, you know how we say we don't take certain things serious? There's some people that don't take certain shit serious, like having a TV reality person oh, never mind. I'm sorry. Other countries don't take that serious. Yeah. They will not take him even more serious than they don't already. No, you don't want him to talk. I'm telling you. No, you're welcome, Dwayne. You don't want him to talk. I promise you don't.
I'm just saying.
Just shut the hell up.
When you stand on it, I'm like this. I have more respect for somebody that stands on stuff. I said it. It was my decision. I said it. I'm the one who made the final call and said I don't want OJ in there.
Hey, Marcus.
I don't want OJ in there.
Hey, Marcus. Sometimes you look better off quiet too. I'll tell you, sometimes some folks look better off quiet. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
And he's one of them. Don't you even open your mouth. Don't you? Please don't. Now, with that being said, we talked about OJ again. This is World Class Wednesdays. If you tuning in right now, Andre the Torch Robinson, the fire starter with Marcus the Alphabets. We talked about Chris Johnson and the ALS diagnosis. We talked about OJ Simpson being removed off the wall. We gave y'all some breaking news about Jaylen Brown and him going to the 76ers now for Paul George, 2 first and 2 second. The Boston Celtics will receive 2 first rounders, 2 second rounders, and Paul George for Jaylen Brown. But there's also something else we need to talk about. from
Tobias
the NBA.
Harris. Tobias Harris went to my Spurs. I like that.
Yes, he did.
That. Got a 2-year deal. I like that. I
Yes, he
like
did.
that. I think that they need another presence down low. I like that. I like that.
Uh-oh. Well. The king is moving again. I don't know how many times a king can move. I didn't think in chess the king moved that much, but I guess in basketball the king can move as many times as he wants. LeBron James, quoted as King James. I've never called him that, but
I've never called him that either.
Mr.
I want to
King
crown his
James
ass.
himself.
Crown his ass. I don't
Right.
call him no king.
LeBron James has notified the LA Lakers that they can move on from him because he will be going elsewhere. Marcus the Alphabets, your thoughts on this before I get into where and his targeted places to move to?
And is it true that he also said that he wants Anthony Davis with him too? Did he say that? I've been reading some stuff with that. I don't know. So that's something that I saw. And I also saw that Bronny's contract got guaranteed for next year. So I did see that. The real DEI hire, Bronny James. I said this when he got drafted. I go, the only reason that you're going this high is because you're LeBron James' son. But I thought, what are you trying to prove? If LeBron won a championship next year, which I think would be highly unlikely, when you look at the teams that are out there right now, who would be, now look, it changes every year, but I think right off the top we could look at like certain teams and be like, okay, this team, look, you got the champs, the New York Knicks. They're coming back fairly intact next year. Okay. The backup center, I think he's leaving. I can't think of his name. Big boy, backup center with the beard. I can't think of his name. Spurs are going to be around. The Thunder, what they did in the draft, I like what the Thunder did. And what this seems like to me, Torch, is what we saw. I think it was 2004 when you saw the Lakers trying to get all of these has-beens. You go get Karl Malone, you go get Gary Payton, you go get all these guys to try to make one more run. It's like LeBron. Look, even if I don't know about y'all. Now he's the all-time leading scorer, but if he won another championship, does that change your opinion of him overall in a historical context? It doesn't change it for me. When you look at the massive failures that we've seen him have, even as recently as this year, where are you going to go? Where you go in and you have with the landscape and these teams out there that are contenders, unless you join them. The Spurs are young, the Thunder are young. The Knicks, I would imagine that they would be fairly hungry to try to, to see themselves as a dynasty if they could get another one. I think that the Pistons will still be good. I think that the Cavs in the East will still be good. I would imagine probably the Celtics will still be good, even though this Jaylen Brown trade it befuddles me. I think Dallas is going to be good. I think Houston's going to be good. So it's just a murderer's row. It's like, what are you trying to prove? I would like to see LeBron James kind of do like what we saw with Aaron Rodgers this year. Look, this is my last year. This is the last ride. This is my last ride. You're getting to the point now, LeBron, where you're gonna still be playing when Bryce is coming into the damn league. Your other son. So I'm just look. Maybe I just sound like a hater here too. I'm tired of LeBron. I'm ready for him to retire. I'm ready for him to move on. He's a great player. I don't want to diminish his accolades. To me, he never has and never will be as good as Jordan, and I may be a little bit biased with that, but I actually watched both of their careers. You know, it's a little bit different when you see players and you're comparing players from different eras, and it's like 30 or 40. Bill Russell. I didn't watch Bill Russell play. So I can't really, prime Wilt Chamberlain. I didn't watch prime Wilt Chamberlain play, but I watched all of Michael Jordan's career, and I've watched all of LeBron James's career. To me, LeBron is not in the same ballpark with him. So what are you trying to prove? What is this? Some? Do you feel like you have something? What is missing in you? What is missing in you to continue on with this? So, look, he's still. What was his numbers? What were his numbers last year? What were LeBron's numbers last year? What were points and rebounds and assists? What did he average last year?
He was still a 26, 8, and 7 person.
And a lot of missed games too. How many games did he play? We can look at that too. Okay, you got 20. You're averaging 26 points a game, and you played, 56 games, out of the 82. So I'm tired of LeBron, bro. I'm tired of him. I wish he would kind of fade into the background and get into some managerial type stuff, some ownership, front office, GM type stuff, kind of like a Michael Jordan, an ownership or something like that. But I'm tired of LeBron, bro. I'm tired.
And folks, my apologies. I gave LeBron James more credit than he deserves.
26 sounds like a lot.
LeBron James' numbers was 21, 7 and 6.
Okay.
His numbers was 21, 7 and 6. I'm sorry, Marcus. My apologies. I gave him more credit than he deserves. His career is 26, 8 and 8 and 9.
Yeah, I was like, that sounds like a lot.
Pretty much. Yeah. So here's my conversation on LeBron James. Is he one of the greatest athletes of this modern era? Yes. He has 4 legitimate Hall of Fame careers all in one career, similar to Tom Brady. If you take LeBron's first stint in Cleveland, it's a Hall of Fame career. Even though he didn't win a championship, it's a Hall of Fame career. If you took his stint with Miami, going to 4 finals, winning 2, it's a Hall of Fame career. If you took his second stint where they went to 4 finals and won 1 with the 73 win Warriors, they beat, regardless of how they beat them, we won't have that conversation. We will never have that conversation. By the way, for those who don't know, Draymond Green and LeBron James are actually very good friends outside of the basketball world. For those who don't know that's very true. Legitimately, they are good friends. That's a Hall of Fame career. And then if you take the last 8 seasons that he had with the Lakers, he won them the 2020. Obviously, some people have their opinion about the COVID championship that they won. Didn't have to travel, but was during the hardest time that we have witnessed in history with COVID, being in a bubble, yada, yada, yada. They won that championship. That would be a also Hall of Fame career. But look at my hand, and I see your nose twitching.
Would it though? Would it though?
Depends on how you view his Lakers stint, because how I view his Lakers stint is that he got swept multiple times, and you went home in the first round multiple times. You won 1 game with Luka Doncic, by the way. 1 playoff game with Luka Doncic, by the way. 1. That's major to me. I mean, if we talk about major gaffes, there's some major gaffes in those. If we actually amassed his career, we can find some major gaffes in his career. We can definitely find some holes. but for the most part, he's a Hall of Fame guy. Definitely, and one of the best to ever do it. So we can't take that away from him. Now that he is moving again, I will tell you right off the jump, you will not see him go to OKC. You will not see him go to San Antonio. You will not see him go to the New York Knicks. I know there's conversations about what LeBron come to the Mecca. He is not coming to the Knicks. The Knicks have no interest in LeBron James, by the way. Just to let y'all know, zero interest. All right.
What position is OG Anunoby?
Huh?
What position does OG Anunoby play? He's a forward, right? He's a small forward, right?
Forward. Yeah. But it's not even about being at the forward position. It's about the continuity, which this is why I talk about talent versus continuity of a team. And this is something we're going to talk about tomorrow, by the way. Talent versus continuity when you play for a team. Now, the three places that have been publicized for sure is the Miami Heat. Okay, Miami Heat, the Cleveland Cavaliers, and the Golden State Warriors. I will explain each of them very quickly. Miami Heat. If he went to Miami, he would go to Miami with Bam Adebayo, Giannis Antetokounmpo, who was just recently acquired by the Miami Heat. And there is rumor that the Miami Heat are also trying to acquire Russell Westbrook right now. Right now, currently. It is definitely in stone that they are pursuing Westbrook. Would he fit over there? Pat Riley would have to bolster up him, and Eric Spoelstra would have to bolster up a roster that would be good enough, formidable enough to make a legitimate run to the finals. I'm going to be very honest with you, and a lot of people will look at me funny when I say this, but I think that the road to the finals is even harder in the East now than it will be in the Western Conference. The East is growing massively. We watched Orlando, Detroit, Indiana without Tyrese Halliburton, who was coming back. You will see Indiana be making some moves. You watch Charlotte this year progress as a team.
They just lost. Well, they just lost.
Right, they lost LaMelo Ball. I know, but you just watched these different teams, including New York, Cleveland, and others this year. The East is going to be very interesting this year. However you look at it, would LeBron fit in that scheme in Miami? He could, but is it the relatively easy road to winning a championship without carrying the load? That's also what you have to think about in year 24. Do you want LeBron James as your third and fourth option, or do you want LeBron James trying to carry the load? I would go for the first option and not the second one at 40-some years old, okay? Father Time is still undefeated, y'all. I don't care how unless you're, I guess, Tom Brady or LeBron right now, currently. Father Time is undefeated. He could go to the Cleveland Cavaliers, where you have James Harden, you have Spider, you have Mobley. He could go back home to Cleveland. Cleveland would also have to make sure that their roster is up to snuff and their coaching is up to snuff, that you would say, hey, I believe that we can make a legitimate run. What kind of throws a damper into this whole situation is now the Jaylen Brown move to Philly because Philadelphia now has Tyreek Maxey, Jaylen Brown, and Joel Embiid all on one squad, along with some role players. So is Cleveland the clear move that you want to make? Do you want to go back home and try it for a third time? Could it work? Sure. But I'm telling you, and I'm about 75 to 80% sure, and it's growing, that LeBron James, I hate to say this, and I want to hear what type of energy y'all gonna have for this too, because I don't care about LeBron James winning the one championship against them when Draymond got suspended and when Bogut got hurt and yada yada and the chips fell and they favored 3 games in a row. LeBron James will be a Golden State Warrior by August 1st.
You calling your shot?
I'm calling my shot. And here's why.
Okay.
Here's why. There's a couple of reasons. Number one, where do we have Steve Kerr as far as coaching?
He's one of the top 3, top 5 coaches in the league.
Say it. Okay.
Top 3, top 5. I don't know if he's
out of
bad.
all the players that I just named from these teams, are any of them above Stephen Curry, even at 36?
No. And LeBron, I think LeBron could flourish there because he's not ball dominant. He's not the kind of person that has to,
No, they're not. Who is he most familiar with? Stephen Curry. They played together in the Olympics. You've seen LeBron have fun with him. You've seen this. I just told you Draymond Green and him are actually very good friends. Draymond Green actually declined his $28 million option yesterday. Declined it, which means that he's declining it for a reason. There's a reason why he's declining that. And I'm going to, my spidey sense is kind of tingling. It's because LeBron James is going there. Nobody is going to decline $28 million if they don't already have pretty much a notion that they're going to get said player. Now, could he go somewhere else? There's a possibility. But I just told you, 80%, I am 80% sure LeBron James will be a Golden State Warrior by August 1st. And here's the other thing. LeBron James wouldn't have to move so far. Coming from LA to San Francisco is way less of a move than LA to Cleveland or LA to Miami. And he still gets the fun and palm trees and yada, 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 staying in California. Now, here's where Anthony Davis came in. You talked about, you read that? That's true. The Warriors are looking to acquire Anthony Davis as well because that is someone LeBron has already played with and won a championship with. Acquiring Anthony Davis and LeBron James with Stephen Curry, Jimmy Butler, by the way, who is still a Golden State Warrior. Okay.
People forgot about him because he got hurt.
Draymond Green, and then having Steve Kerr as a coach puts you in a very good position, especially when you're playing against younger teams like San Antonio and OKC. Because let's be honest, those are the only 2 teams that really stand out when you talk about the Western Conference. We saw this playoff legitimately, and especially now that Ja Morant has left as well. Memphis, we ain't talking about Memphis. Memphis is nowhere.
I think people are sleeping on Dallas too. I think
Dallas
Dallas
will be
Dallas was
okay.
injured. Dallas
Portland
was
will
in,
be Portland will be very interesting now with that duo. You know, John Morant and Dame Time have now teamed up together. It will be interesting. But we know that the two teams that everybody is watching in the West, Spurs, Thunder. And now you definitely would have to watch Golden State.
Yeah.
If LeBron James was to go there and Anthony Davis was to go there, you have to, as much as you may not like it, you have to consider them favorites in the West because
one of the favorites.
You have to no. There's favorites, but then there's the favorite, and you would have to consider them the favorite if you had Stephen Curry, Jimmy Butler, AD, Draymond Green, and Steve Kerr as your coach, along with the other players and role players they have on the team. You'd have to consider them. You'd have to. And I hate to say that, but it's the truth. Minnesota, very interesting. Is really good. It's a really good team. But we know that head and shoulders, you're watching for those two teams. You're watching those two teams with Minnesota in the rear view as well.
Any love for Houston?
Nope.
No love for Houston? Okay.
Nope. Dwayne, it's happened before. Yeah. Them old dudes can make a run. Yeah.
The Lakers. The Lakers,
and I hate to say this. It's because, and I'm going to tell you why I can see them from a fundamental standpoint, why they could make a run. Two things that LeBron does as it pertains to Stephen Curry. Ready? One, Stephen Curry no longer has to be the primary ball handler because we all know LeBron James is a point forward. And at 36, you do not have to worry about Stephen Curry having a high usage rate as he has with the ball in his hand. That's number one. Number two is because LeBron James still demands not only hey, we got to watch out for LeBron James, what he's doing, because he's so intelligent on the court, but he demands mentally for any coach to have the game plan for him. So now you aren't just game planning for Stephen Curry anymore. You're game planning for Stephen Curry and LeBron James and LeBron. That's not easy. That wouldn't be easy for any coach to have to, with those two, I don't care what age, 36, 37, 38, they both play at a very high level. Golden State only needs a big guy to be a statue. Oh, guess what else that does? That makes Anthony Davis less breakable. By the way, because we know Anthony Davis
is made out of plexiglass.
He's breakable, right? That makes Anthony Davis less breakable. And guess who else it makes less breakable? Jimmy Butler, who will be coming back off of an injury, by the way. So for all of those reasons that I just gave you, on top of the fact that Draymond Green can also handle the basketball, for folks who forgot that Draymond Green can handle the basketball as well. And as much as you scrub your face, Draymond Green is the triple single guy. We call him triple single for a reason, Marcus, because he's the closest to ever having triple doubles that just don't happen. He's the closest. We know this. So take all of those things into consideration when this move is made. And where would he have the most fun playing? I'm telling you right now, it's Golden State. And I bet you I'm 80, and the more I talk about this, the more I'm getting even more sure. 85% sure LeBron James will be a Golden State Warrior.
Okay, so you say 85 there. So what is the likelihood of Cleveland? I think Cleveland's his first love. That's his.
That's home. I get it. That's
yeah.
home. I get it that that's home, and he's in Cleveland right now. By the way, just to let you know, he is in Cleveland right now. LeBron. I would say there is a probability-wise 40% chance for Cleveland. I'm saying 85 out of my own, just because my own knowledge of fundamentally how this would work, yada, yada, yada. Plus the fact that he said that he's open to taking the veteran minimum is a damning clue that he is going to a team who just cut back on
salary cap
deals.
Yeah.
Draymond Green just cut his $28 million deal. And now he's saying he will take the veteran minimum. What does that tell you? LeBron is trying to fit in somewhere that works. I tell you, he's going to be a Golden State Warrior by August 1st. That's what I'm going to tell you. I have I'm 85% sure of this myself. But if you ask me probability, I would say Golden State is 50. Cleveland 40, Miami's 10. Miami's 10.
I don't that
50, 40, 10.
60, 40, 10 is 110.
No, it ain't. 50,
60,
40,
30,
10 is 100. What are you talking about? 50,
you said,
40, and 10.
Oh, I thought you said 60, 40, 10.
No, I said 50.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
50, 40. I said 50.
Okay.
50, 40, 10.
I'll say 60, 30, 10.
Okay. I even could respect that. 60, 30, 10.
60,
I can respect that. But by August 1st, he will be a Golden State Warrior.
Okay.
That's what I'm telling you.
Right.
Because guess what? Guess what else this does? Remember you asked me what another ring would do for LeBron James? Remember you asked me?
Yeah.
It would put not only Stephen Curry at 5 rings, but it would put him at 5 rings in which him and Tim Duncan and Kobe Bryant and would all have 5 rings. That's what it does for LeBron James. Okay. The ghost of chasing Michael should be over at this point.
That's
not
been
catching
over.
Michael.
Yeah.
Sorry. He's just
He would
not.
have to win. He would have to win 2 more at 38 years old.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't care if he wins 2 more. It's still the ghost of catching Michael is over at this point.
Yeah, that's gone.
Too much. It's way too much. Way too much. Way too much. Way too much stuff has happened in between. If this was just a clean,
I don't even. He's not even. Kobe, Tim Duncan.
Again, if this was a clean cut run to 6, I might have a different opinion. But because there's been so much in between, nah. I think he would go out being okay, being tied with Kobe at 5.
Kobe and Duncan.
I think he'd be okay with that. Oh, there is something else we got to talk about. Marcus the Alphabet.
Your camera's off, family. Your camera's like, I'm just seeing like half of your face, man.
Are you?
There you go.
I'm sorry. Let me back it up. Because on my camera, it look like I'm perfectly fine. I'm sorry. I keep leaning forward a little bit here and there. So there is something I need to talk about. And I know Irving, Goldie, Hawkins couldn't wait to hear me have this conversation about this, and I'm going to bring it up. And I'm going to bring it up. Let's get to it. Let's see here.
Real quick before we transition over to that, who's going to win the WNBA Rookie of the Year award?
You know what? Don't start your mess. Right? See, there you go again. Starting trouble. You start in trouble. You better not say Darko Fudd either. You know you like to poke fun. You think you funny.
I'm just asking a question. That's all.
You think you slick. You think you're slick, Marcus. It's not Darko Fudd. She ain't winning it. If that's what you like, you like calling her that, Darko Fudd. No, it's Olivia Miles, and it's not even close. Don't make me talk WNBA talk right now because I'm saving it for tomorrow when I got it. DJ, by the way, shout out to all y'all tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. I will be on a debate with DJ from one of these WNBA groups who Marcus, man, these folks are so conditioned. Some of these folks are conditioned. Shout out to DJ though, because he's a cool guy. He's a God-fearing guy. He coaches basketball like I have. But we have a difference of opinion in certain things, and we're gonna talk about WNBA and some other stuff tomorrow morning. It's gonna be very interesting. He made a video. You'll see the video tomorrow. Very interesting to say the least. So Marcus bringing up WNBA stuff makes me laugh right now. Oh my goodness! Do not the Sophie Cunningham crap. Lord have mercy. But the answer is Olivia Miles, by the way, and it's Olivia Miles by a long shot. Okay. Olivia Miles just joined a team again. We always say, here comes a Marcus the Alphabets impression. We always say, who you play with matters, and where you play matters, right? We talk about where you play matters too. Okay. So if I told you that the Minnesota Lynx lost 40% of their offense in the offseason, not including the fact that Napheesa Collier has not played one single game this season, and the Minnesota Lynx are 15-4 and on pace to win the same amount of games that they won last year with that 40% of offense and Napheesa Collier, you would say that I was crazy, right? Well, I'm not, because the Minnesota Lynx are literally 15-4 right now. And Olivia Miles, as a rookie guard, is leading this team 15-4. By the way, she's not only just leading this team, she is making players better that a certain someone couldn't. She's making them even better than other players who we revere as the top creme de la creme of players. Olivia Miles is that girl. I'm just gonna tell you right now. And y'all can start with the bullshit narratives of, her attitude. She's talking crap on the court. I don't want to hear it. Please stop being soft. This is not Silk. Drake said it's Silk. This is straight soft. You guys are soft. Complaining about her talking stuff on the court, please. All the great players talk junk on the basketball floor. And she told you why she talks junk. Because she's not interested in being punked out. I wonder why. Okay? Olivia Miles is that girl. Give her respect. By the way, the New York Liberty won the Commissioner's Cup last night. New York winning a lot of stuff lately. New York winning a lot of stuff lately. This is why I'm so mad at Buffalo. Buffalo making a damn fool out of themselves while New York winning a whole lot of stuff right now. Dummies. Anyway, I will ask this question because Marcus, you did this before we get into this topic. I find it, by the way, listen here. I said it first. You haven't heard this from anybody. I have seen 0 people make this comment, but I'm going to make it because it needs to be put out there. and I might even want to get a little investigative on it. Hey, Asia Wilson, you ain't slick, sweetheart. You ain't slick. We talk about people and injuries. We talked about Caitlin Clark. Did she really injure her back, or did she really just quit on her team? Which video evidence is damning on Caitlin right now. Damning about that back injury she had. Damning, right? It's quite alarming that I watched you walking perfectly fine down that tunnel yesterday after that Commissioner's Cup, a Commissioner's Cup that you came out in the offseason earlier and during this season it said they should get rid of. And all of a sudden, right before the Commissioner's Cup, you get injured and you don't play. I find that quite interesting, Asia.
You'll say
Don't
it,
make us start questioning you now and start investigating you, because I just find it quite interesting that you didn't want the Commissioner's Cup and you want them to get rid of it. And the game before you got to go play, all of a sudden you tweaked your ankle good enough that you can't play in the cup, a cup that is revered in the WNBA. I find that a little weird. Am I saying you did something? Nope. But I'm going to say I'm watching. I'm watching your further movements, honey. I'm watching you. Now, moving on. Got to talk about this. We got to talk about this. Marcus the Alphabets, I couldn't wait to get on
you
here.
have to put it.
Let's go put it.
A lot of people brought this up. I posted this up on my page. I thought I put it up on Rise Up Family. I know I put this up on the Alphabets Football Show page. And there's I think there's a lot of variables. Shout out to my guy Vernon Washington. He had made a couple of comments as far as this. When we look at the rosters and the how many people are on the roster, I think that does make a difference. And I'm going to say something else too. This is where we start talking about socioeconomics. Now we try, here on Rise Up and Alphabets Football Show, we try to, for the most part, stay out of politics, stay out of religion. Sometimes they do intertwine with each other. Socioeconomic type things. Now, what percentage of the NHL is black? What percentage of the Major League Baseball is black? What percentage of the NBA is black? What percentage of the National Football League is black? And then you look at the numbers as far as rosters, a 53-man roster. How many's on the basketball team? 15? 15?
12 to 15.
12 to 15. How many's on baseball? I don't know how many's on baseball or hockey. I know you cover hockey.
Baseball has about 20 to 22 because you got to remember all the pitchers that they have.
Okay. And then NHL, about 20 something.
The NHL has about 15 to like 18 players. You got to remember that there's 4 lines in hockey, 4 lines plus goaltenders.
Okay, so I mean, most of these other sports, football is like 2 to 4 times as big as NFL rosters. I think you also have to take into consideration, look, and this is a terrible, we don't like to talk about it, but we have to be realistic here. When you look at head injuries, when we start looking at, TBI and things like that with the contact that's going on. So this is why I always get a little bit perturbed when people my hockey people, no offense. This is no offense to you when you talk about, oh well, you know, hockey's more dangerous than football. I disagree. I just disagree. Well, we travel faster and we play more games. I go, yeah, but it's, you know, it's not. You're not playing 300-pound players. Okay, you're not playing 300-pound. I understand you're skating and you're skating, you know, 25 miles an hour, 30 miles an hour maybe, but I'm running 22, 23 miles an hour, and I'm running into Miles Garrett. I'm running into Vita Vea. I'm running into Jalen Carter. I'm running into Cam Hayward. You know, these quarterbacks, we've seen a lot of these quarterbacks, you know, that have been put out of commission through TBI or whatnot. And you look at some of the players now that I believe are suffering from TBI. A guy like Antonio Brown. I seriously think, of course, I'm not a medical expert, but I think there is something the matter with Antonio Brown. I just do. I think there's something very wrong with him. So when you look at that, and then again, this time of year right now, these guys are off during summertime. They're off during summertime. So you're talking about multimillionaires. And look, none of this is an excuse. I don't want people to, oh, Marcus, you're co-signing for these guys. You're making excuses for these guys. There's nothing. That's not the case. I'm just saying part of when you're off, you know, these guys are off for the next month or so. No, they're off. They start training camp in like 25 to 30 days, depending on, you know, what the team is. So I think roster construction, the number on the roster numbers, plus the socioeconomics, you know, black players, as compared to white players. A lot of people, they don't want to have this discussion. And time off during the year, I think you take those three elements there, and I think that's why you see this. Why you see this here. So, I'd like your take on this. What do you think about this, Torch?
Took the words right out of my mouth. First and foremost, I told Irvin Cody Hawkins on the post that CTE is a big reason for this. First and foremost, and I told him there was another element, and you just literally took the words right out of my mouth. Time is the other element. It's very simple. Time is the other element, and here's what I mean by that. How many games do you play in the NBA?
82. What, 82?
Yep. How many playoff games do you have to play to win a championship in the NBA? 16. You have to win 16 games to win a championship. You have to win 16 games in the NHL to win a championship. You have to win 16 games to win in baseball. So guess what? That's almost 100 games in basketball and hockey. That's over 180 games in baseball. The NFL, you play 20, which means, by the way, and when you look at the NFL, you play once a week. NBA players play 2, 3, 4, 5 times a week, depending on the schedule. Hockey players play 2, 3, 4 times a week. Baseball players play 2, 3, 4 times a week, which means you do not have the same time and space for buffoonery, because usually you're traveling. When you play one place, I've seen this myself professionally, so don't try to argue me when I say this. I've literally seen teams play somewhere, get on a bus, and travel and go the next destination to go play. That's exactly what happens in majority of these sports, especially the bottom three that you see, because they play so many times a week. In football, not only do you have a larger off season, but football is the most contacted sports in all
hockey's tougher, Marcus. It's way tough. I'm like, dude, look, this is I don't want to disparage uh, hockey players, but we do this and we do that. Yes, and we play more games than you. But I'm like, I would dare say the players are bigger and faster. They're bigger, faster, and I'm sorry. Some people may not want to hear this. I think football players are more athletic. I just, as far just when you look at the athletes, or when you look at a genetic freak like Myles Garrett, he's a genetic freak. Micah Parsons, a genetic freak. Or you see a guy like you're trying to tackle a guy like Derrick Henry, or Bijan Robinson, or a Saquon Barkley. I'm just sorry. Or you're a cornerback trying to bring down Josh Allen, Cam Newton, or guys like that. So I get every sport has their unicorn type guy who's different than everybody else. But when you look at that, I'm sorry. In my opinion, I know my hockey players, they're going to disagree with me on this. I just think when you look at the scope of play, when you look at an offensive and defensive lineman, and you're a guy like Xavier Worthy, and you're out there dealing with guys like that, I think there's a very big disparity between those two sports. Not taking away anything from hockey, because skating, you got to be able to skate. And they're checking each other and stuff like that. But I'm sorry, they've toned down football, because we saw this a few years ago, Torch, with the whole Damar Hamlin thing, the Damar Hamlin incident, and with the Tua incident where he was sitting over here doing the ET phone home motion. There were people. Let's not forget, there were people that thought Damar Hamlin died on the field. There were reports early on that he had died on the field. Okay? There were reports that he had died on the field. I think that the NFL's worst nightmare, and that was like a Thursday night game, is for a player on prime time, where it's the only game on, and the whole country is watching, for a player to die on the field. Okay? So, again, not to take anything away from these other sports, but I just think football
the game
is a very, very they've taken away so much stuff from football, where people were literally, getting mangled. And then you look at the turf that they play on. Of course, it's not ice, but these guys are wearing helmets. You see a guy like Michael Irvin nearly breaking his neck. We look at the concussions, Steve Young, Troy Aikman, guys like that had to end their careers early because of concussions or whatnot like that. Guys that have gone on to commit suicide and homicide because they have issues that, rest in peace, Junior Seau, a guy like that who donated his brain to be studied after he passed away. So I think we have to take things like that into consideration. Football is a dangerous sport. There are retired football players, that have gone on record saying, I know I retired from football. I don't let my kids play football. Kurt Warner, he said that. The Hall of Fame quarterback from the St. Louis Rams, he has said that I would not let my kids play football. So that tells you, and he was another one who got concussed during Bounty Gate, where he got concussed. So we have to take stuff like that into consideration. These are numbers. These numbers are indisputable when we talk about CTE and brain injury or whatnot like that, concussions and stuff. So look, the proof is in the pudding. It's right there for you. You can sit up there, you can deny it and use other excuses or reasons, but it's right there for you. There was a whole movie done to address this. The movie Concussion with Will Smith. This was when this was a big phenomenon. They've had to take out parts of the game because it was too dangerous. Onside kicks, you have to announce onside kicks. Can't hit the quarterback up high, can't hit the quarterback low, can't do crack back blocks or i.e. peel back blocks. Guys coming across the middle, you can't hit those guys, defenseless receivers or whatnot. So and you still see guys getting knocked out and missing games because of concussion. So it just is what it is.
So I just wanted to make sure I brung in the other sports as well, so you can see what it says as well.
It's hockey. I had a guy tell me that soccer is more. Well, they don't wear pads. I go, dude, we don't wear helmets. That helmet, look. When God created the human body, He did not consider football and your brain literally bouncing around inside of your skull, because that's what happens during a concussion. Your brain is literally hitting the sides of your skull. So, and they can make all of these different type of helmets. They're even making those, what are those Guardian caps now, and that's really the way. Look, I know some people don't want to hear this. I would not be surprised, and I've said this over the years, and it's optional right now, those Guardian caps, and I think they have to wear them like so many hours during practice hours. They wear them in practice, and then they're optional if you want to wear Guardian cap during the game. You see some guys, Romeo Dobbs, wearing them. They look terrible, but that's where it's going with this, and the numbers have decreased concussions or whatnot, and you still have guys getting hurt. So to me, it's just one of those things. As long as you have two large human beings colliding with each other, this is just one of those things that are going to be unavoidable.
Absolutely. So with that being said, Marcus, I think I'm going to create a segment called What the Research Says. What the research says. Coin that, hashtag that in the comment section, what the research says. Because
men lie,
as we do
women
more,
lie.
Yep, go ahead.
Men lie, women lie. Those numbers, they don't lie. You see those numbers right
They
there.
can be misleading too, though.
They can be misleading, but when you see up there, this many people got concussed throughout this amount of time here, and you see the actual numbers there.
It depends on the topic.
Yeah.
It absolutely depends on the topic.
Yeah.
But my thing is, with journalism and as we do shows and disseminating information and making people more abreast on certain, information, you need to make sure you do your research. I've had conversations all day today about just sitting and listening to corporate media and taking it for face value. Stop it. You have a brain, use it. Research something for yourself. Read it for yourself. Don't just take what people say for face value. CNN can report something and it be absolutely false when you really go and research it. These media pundits that you see out here, they ain't the be-all, know-all. You guys have to remember that he who controls the narrative controls what? Again, go research for yourself. I hate when people try to give me disseminate information that they have regurgitated from somebody else. And I literally, and I hate to do this, but I need to mention this before the show go off, because it's going to segue into tomorrow. Tomorrow, by the way. Marcus the Alphabets, you here? So let me ask you, I think you would know this, obviously, right? I think we've had conversations in past about certain people we see in the public eye, and those public eye folks being qualified to talk about certain things, legitimately qualified to talk about certain things. Okay, if I asked you right now, if we were talking about college basketball, who would you take your information from more, Stephen A. Smith or Dick Vitale?
Dick Vitale all day. Those diaper danders, baby.
Yeah. Answer that, puppy.
A PTP or pom-tom player, PT players, PT players, diaper dandies. By the way, his cancer has came back. You know, just one of the joys of watching college basketball. He's one of those people who just makes stuff.
Would you take your information from Jay Bayless Moore or Stephen A. Smith?
Jay Bayless.
Jay,
how
right?
About How about Stephen A. Smith or Barry Melrose?
Right. That's like again in hockey. Stephen A. Smith or PK Subban. Right?
Stephen A. Smith or Max Kellerman on boxing.
This is what I be talking. Okay, so this is what I be talking about, and I hate to use Stephen A. as the example, but I get tired of people thinking that because it's a name that means that they are just totally. Sir, I can tell you for a fact, I've never seen Stephen A. Smith at an NCAA tournament ever. And I've been to 3 professionally. Never seen him at one. The champion this year that won the tournament came out of the Buffalo region. This year. I ain't seen him once. Like, y'all have to understand. If I asked, and this is just being totally honest, if I asked Stephen A. right now on this show, hey, what happened to Iowa in 2022? He couldn't tell me unless somebody else told him this information. Unless somebody else told him, he's not going to tell you that. He doesn't have the answer to that. I promise you he don't. Because he wasn't there.
Yeah.
He wasn't there. I was there. This is why I'm trying to tell certain people. You can't tell somebody who's been there. And that's why I hate, as sports enthusiasts, as sports fanatics, as sports journalists, sports content creators, we have to start really using our brain and start saying, hey, I want to know this for myself. Not just watching a show where, guess what? 1,000 people that's off the set give somebody information on the set, disseminates information. You understand what I'm saying, Marcus? Like, I can't. We have to start telling people this, because what happens is people lose credibility and legitimacy by sitting up here just listening to what somebody says.
Yeah. You know, that reminds me of something else too.
I'll let you go ahead.
Before you go, it reminds me of something else too. If giving a donkey too much attention makes him start to think that he's a lion. Okay, I'll just say that there's a lot of people out there that have a lot to say. They don't research anything. It just be just talking nonsensical type stuff. So too much attention makes a donkey think that he's a lion. I'm a firm believer in that. I take this seriously. I take this very seriously. I just do. I would not sit down and just say something and not make sure that I'm well versed on it. If I sit up and say something, I'm making a video or something like that, I make sure that I am very versed in that. By the way, James Pierce Jr. didn't say nothing when he went to camp. His day is still in court. I would assume with everything that's gone on these past couple of months between James Pierce, between the guy from Denver, I think he's going to miss his time. I think he's going to miss some time. I think I could see what is his. I just did a piece on him. I can't even think of his name off the top of my head. The edge rusher from what's that?
Jonathan Cooper.
Jonathan Cooper, James Pierce Jr., Dre, I don't play favorites. Terrion Arnold, he just got cut by the Lions.
They get suspended.
He just got
Terrion Arnold. He will not. I guarantee you, nobody will sign him.
Or you're acting like a goof, or you're acting like a goofball. Speaking of CTE,
Nobody.
Brandon Ayuk,
Another one.
A total goofy, just making idiotic videos and cussing out people. It's like a lot of these players don't understand too is that just like it's a fraternity for the players, it's also a fraternity for the owners. And I think these owners, they get to a point, they're like, dude, I don't care how talented this guy is. Do not sign this guy because he's poison. This guy is a team wrecker. I would not touch Brandon Ayuk right now. You had a good season. They paid you, made you a top 3 paid wide receiver, and you're trashing the organization, not doing your rehab, and then you're talking about going to the Washington Commanders and stuff. Why, as an organization, would I give you a chance when? Look, in my opinion, the San Francisco 49ers are a cornerstone, classy franchise. They paid you. They were very patient with you because you had the dropsies early on in your career. They paid you, and then as soon as you got your money,
Cornerstone, yes,
you showed your ass. You're speeding in front of the stadium. You're not showing up to stuff. You missed out on all this money. I would not touch you with a 10-foot pole. I just wouldn't. Terrion Arnold, you're having to get you're having to have Nick Saban speak on your behalf, give you a character reference. You're up here kidnapping people, holding them at gunpoint and stuff. Just foolishness. So we'll see. Look, once again, we believe here in the criminal justice system, innocent until proven guilty. But I talked to Dwayne Woodley about, offline about this sometime. Marcus Herring, you're leaving generational wealth, things that could set your family up for generations, and you're acting a damn fool. So we'll see what happens. I'll be
ain't no way in hell. If I had
you can set your kids where you're retire your mama, your daddy, your grandma, whoever, your guardian, whatnot, to set your kids up, 2 or 3 generations, your kids, your grandkids, set them up for life, and you're out here just acting a damn fool. So we'll see what happens. Make sure tomorrow, 10 Eastern, that y'all check out Dre. I'm going to be looking forward to that for the.
Listen, Marcus, when there's smoke, there's fire. He ain't gonna like this. Hey, DJ, and he a cool dude, but he ain't gonna like this.
I gotta get him. He is
not gonna like this.
Like Medea said, I have to get him.
I go through it today.
I gotta get him. I gotta get him.
I gotta. So, make sure y'all. You know what? Hold on. You know what, Marcus? I heard a quote, and I'm gonna leave it at this. I heard a quote. When you hit to heal, don't hit to hurt. That's what I'm gonna do tomorrow. I'm gonna hit to heal and not hit to hurt, because healing comes in actual truth.
Yeah.
Some folks need to know the actual truth to some things.
Gotta set them.
So hit to heal, don't hit to hurt. I'm gonna hit the heal tomorrow. But if the debate means I gotta give him fire,
gotta bring it to him. So make sure y'all tune into that tomorrow. I'm gonna.
Hey Marcus, what they call you? What they call you? What they call you?
The Can Man.
And what? And what?
The Cam, I'm the Cam. Anybody can get it. Anybody can get it.
Man,
Anybody could get it. So we don't play favorites. So make sure y'all tune into that tomorrow. I'll be tuning into that. I'll be looking forward to that while I drink my coffee. I'll do a coffee talk on Friday. I was going to do it tomorrow, but since you're doing that, I'll make sure I'll wait till Friday to do my coffee talk so I can get some reels up. I haven't done one this week. So make sure y'all show some love and support. We appreciate everybody who comes out and supports us, shows love to us, participates in the debates, respectful debate. People who come into the Alphabets Football Show page, the Rise Up Family Sports page, it comes up in there. Everybody in the comment section. Sometimes we get a little bit lost with the debates and stuff like that, but we appreciate you all. We much love and much respect to everybody. Okay, we'll be back next week to chop it up. We are 3.5 weeks away from training camp, NFL training camp. So it's about to get live. So we'll start having some shows and stuff like that on football. Okay, y'all have a great one. See ya.